y'all. Welcome to It's Just Between Us podcast. I'm your host, Coach Marquita Denise. Get you a beverage of choice, honey. Sit back and enjoy the show. I think you're going to like this one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the It's Just Between Us podcast. Okay, so as you heard in the intro, I'm your host, Coach Marquita Denise. I am a life coach and a business consultant, and I'm also a YouTube. I'm a number of things. Okay, so this podcast is going to be unedited. It's going to be raw, uncut. So just get ready and come along for this ride. Like I told you in the intro, get you a drink. I got me some water because I forgot to give you some wine. So I'm drinking water today, but you get the drink of your choice. So I want this podcast to be raw and unedited because I want you guys to see a different side of me. If you follow me on YouTube, I kind of switched myself. I kind of changed, depending on my audience. So this right here will be something totally different. This first episode will be uploaded on my channel, Quita's Lifestyle, my first channel. I'm thinking about making a separate channel just to distinguish the two because, that's more of a lifestyle channel. And this podcast is going to be something serious. So I think I'm just going to put the intro on here and then I'm going to make a separate channel for the podcast so you all can get a visual. So if you are watching me in YouTube land, please go subscribe to that channel. It's Just Between Us by Marquita Denise. So yeah, go do that for me. If you're listening in podcast land, make sure you leave me a review and download the episode. So anyway, you can find me on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're listening in podcast world, you've already found me. So, y'all, this is so scary for me. I am so nervous because it has taken me so long to film this. I have been telling you guys for the longest that I was going to start a podcast, and it is going to be raw and unedited. And I do have a few notes because if you follow me on YouTube, I can go on and I can ramble. So I wrote down notes to kind of keep myself on track. But for the most part, this podcast won't be scripted. I will have special guests on some shows. I'm trying not to have a guest so often, but I do plan on having guests on the show. I already have some guests lined up. But yeah, you guys, I'm out of my comfort zone. I feel so vulnerable because I plan on opening up to you guys a lot on this podcast because I know this podcast is going to help somebody. I'm here to encourage you, help you heal, give you insight on finances. We're going to talk about entrepreneurial life. I'm helping and teaching you how to climb obstacles through life experiences because I've been through a lot, okay? And sis and bruh or whoever is listening, I can help you through a lot, okay? So I'm trying to keep these podcasts an hour and below, but if it goes over that, then okay, I might have to start editing. But I'm trying to keep them at an hour or less, depending on what the topic is and if I have a guest and what we're talking about. But yeah, you guys, the name of the podcast is Just Between Us. I have went through a bunch of names. I had Lemon Juice at first. I had Talks with Marquita Denise. I had Just Between Us. And me and my friend was talking and I was like, dang, should it be It's Just Between Us? And she was like, yeah, that sounds more of a podcast name. It sounds more catchy when you put it's in front of it. So It's Just Between Us is just a conversation between me and my viewer or my listener, wherever you're getting this podcast from. So, I want you guys to be able to talk to me. I do have a email address and it will be listed down below if you are watching me on YouTube, and you should be able to find it in the podcast description if you're listening to the see what I'm saying? But you know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, yeah, I will have an email address, which is contact.justbetweenus@gmail.com. And I do have an Instagram for us, and it's called It's Just Between Us on Instagram. So you guys can DM me to talk about topics that we've already talked about, or to give me topics, or to, and just to tell me anything. And it's just between us. If you want to remain anonymous, you can remain anonymous and we'll talk about it. I am going to set it up to where you guys can call in on the show when I get tech savvy with that, but you guys know I'm not tech savvy. I'm not a tech savvy person. Like I said, this is all new to me. But yeah, you guys, I want to help you guys with your relationship questions, your finance question, your kids, your childhood, suppressed trauma. It's because I had to, over the last year and a half, should I say, since the pandemic, you guys, I had to realize a lot about myself. Like, I realized that I was suppressing a whole lot of old trauma that I didn't really realize that I was suppressing, and it was affecting my future life. And yeah, so, I was avoiding who I was to please other people, to please the world. And I had to tell myself that it's okay. I had to tell myself that it's okay not to be okay. Stuff happens to us all the time. Sometimes it gets hard because we don't want to be vulnerable to other people because it may make us look weak. They may think, well, she's supposed to be strong, or he's supposed to be strong. That's the person I call on. So if they're vulnerable and they're in a bad state, how can they help me? Because, especially when we're the person that's always helping other people, that's always there for other people, who's there for us? Who's there to help us with our finance questions? Who's there to help us when we need a shoulder to cry on? So, but I wanted us to know that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be honest with yourself and tell yourself that you're not okay. So, this podcast is to teach you how to not give a fuck and be honest with yourself, and that we add problems to our problems by lying to ourselves, saying that we're not okay. When somebody call you and be like, girl, hey man, what you doing? How you feeling today? Oh, I'm okay. When you're not really okay, you're stressed the fuck out. You in the shower crying, you in your room crying. You're stressed on how you're gonna pay your bills, or you're stressed on how you're gonna keep your business going because it's not doing financially well. It's so much that we keep on us because we're trying to suppress it for other people, to please other people, to make it seem like we got our shit together when we really don't. And it's okay not to have your shit together. Life is hard. Life is hard. It's okay not to be the perfect parent. Hell, I'm not the perfect parent. I'm still learning that my kids are teenagers. They're damn near grown. So it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And this is a safe space. It's just between us podcast. It's a safe space for you to not be okay. It's okay for you to come in here, let your hair down, and not be fucking K for today. Okay? So, I plan on uploading the podcast every Monday. It will go up every Monday at 3 a.m. That way, if you're on your way to work and you have to be to work early, you can listen to it. I am a little behind on this episode because of some issues, and I got a little nervous. I scared myself and I talked myself out of it, but I posted it and told you guys that I was going to post it. So here it is. This is just the intro. We're not going to talk about much in this. This is to just let you know what the podcast is going to be about and what you can expect. And okay, that's pretty much it. Okay, so, yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I just want to come on here and let you guys know what this podcast is going to be about. Like I said, it's going to upload every Monday, and it's going to be raw and unedited. The only time I will edit it, like I said, is if I have long pauses or I lose my train of thought. But for the most part, I will have it scripted out. So I want, not necessarily scripted out, but I will have the points written down for me to stay on track, because I can be a little long-winded. But yeah, you guys, I've been an entrepreneur for like the past 7 years. I've went through a traumatic 10-year relationship, a traumatizing divorce. If you're a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you know all that information. And it was just, it was just rough. And I had to, suppress my feelings because I'm always the strong person, and I never ever wanted anybody to see me in that vulnerable state. Like, going through what I went through, it caused my business to crash, which caused me to go back to work, which was kind of like a vulnerable space for me because, that's kind of embarrassing. You thriving and booming in your business, and then you go through this traumatic experience, which caused you to damn near lose everything, and you got to fight and scrape your way back to the top. But people thinking you got your shit together when you really don't, so it was hard to try to keep shit together and keep all of it suppressed on the inside. Not to mention, stuff that I figured out that I had suppressed from my childhood, like stuff that happened to me in my childhood. Hell, I had basically forgot it until I had talked to a couple of family members, and we was talking about the past, and it just eventually came up, and I realized that suppressing those feelings caused me to do some of the stuff and make some of the decisions that I have been making in my adult life. And that's okay. Like, I had to tell myself that I might need therapy, which I've never really been open to therapy because I don't like being vulnerable with people. I don't want to go lay on somebody's couch and cry and tell them my business for them to tell me what's wrong with me, that I already know what's wrong with me. But it's okay to need therapy. I had to tell myself that, although I have not went yet and it's still on the table, but it's okay if that's what I need to do. Like, I had to learn to start saying no. I've always been the yes person. If you call me, yes this, yes that, yes this, yes that, even though if it stressed me out and I didn't want to do it, but adding so much to my plate on top of everything I already had going on just made my situations worse. I felt like I had a big cinder block sitting on my chest that I could only release through crying alone by myself. And sometimes that's not shit that you should do alone, on your own. You shouldn't go through stuff like that by yourself. Granted, sometimes you do need some time alone, away from everybody, to get yourself together and to rethink everything, because I had to take a break from everybody. But sometimes it is what it is, and you have to realize that you're fucked up on the inside and you need to fix it. But it's okay, because that's what we're going to do right here on this podcast. We're going to figure out what the fuck is going on the inside of us, and we're going to fix it. So, with that being said, you guys stay tuned for the next episode. The topic for next week's episode will be accountability. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, if you guys have some things that you want me to talk about or touch on when it comes to accountability, and DM me on Instagram. You can email me at contact.justbetweenus@gmail.com, and I will respond back to you guys unless I get overwhelmingly a lot of messages, and I'll do my best, because it's just me. I'm just a one-man band right now, but I will do my best to get back to each and every one of you. Thank you guys for all of your support, because you guys have been supporting me since day one. But thank you guys for all your support. I'm ready to take this podcast to another level. And like I said, I am making a separate channel for this because, like I said, this podcast is going to be a little raw, and you're going to get a different side of me that you see on my regular YouTube channel. You will get the real deal, holy feel from me over here. You're getting Quita over here. On my channel, on my YouTube channel, you get Marquita. But over here, although I am Coach Marquita Denise, and I try to hold a professional standard to myself, but I'm so tired of pretending to be something that I'm not. It's okay for me to be exactly who I am. And if you can't accept me, that's your problem and not mine. And I had to take that into consideration, which it took me a long time to take that into consideration, but I have. So, with that being said, like I said, I'm going to stop rambling right here, because this is just the intro video and I don't want this to be too long. Y'all just get ready for this ride, and I'll see you guys next Monday. I love you all. Until next time. Peace.